Slovenia, a country that is known for its lush forests, incredible mountains, stunning caves, and cobalt blue rivers. Its pristine nature is one of the leading features that draws in increasing numbers of tourists. In 2016, Slovenia was declared the first green destination in the world. Over the past years, Slovenia has been able to make going green a priority, without sacrificing the attributes that make it a great country to live in and visit. To be able to uphold this green culture and sustainability, Slovenia has different stakeholders partaking in environmentally friendly means. For instance, the cities have taken upon the task to provide public recycling bins to promote green behavior. With the rapid growth of tourists and the goals of keeping Slovenia green, there are changes that greatly influence the residents.
So there was a big change in my childhood, I could say. Regarding this, the change is that there is a big gap happening between the rich and the poor.
Those changes often begin with influxes of local artists looking for a cheap place to live. These artists often manage to give a neighborhood a new flair. As a result, it attracts upper-class representatives who want to live in such an environment and thereby drive out the lower-income artists and residents, which leads to changes in the social character of the neighborhoods. This process is called gentrification, and a perfect example of this is Metelkova Mesto and the capital Ljubljana.
Metelkova used to be a military base in Yugoslavia, so it was the base of the Yugoslav National Army. And after the collapse of Yugoslavia, or when Slovenia got independent, the soldiers moved out. So it was empty buildings, no one was staying there, it was just a little bit left there to rot and fall apart. And what happened, the artists and some musicians and people with little bit maybe different views, I think in this time there were also some maybe punkers, or maybe they were more socialist or anarchist even. They moved there and they created a squat.
As a consequence of the developments, neighborhoods like Metelkova become tourist attractions and desired places to visit. This draws in entrepreneurs that are coming to these places with the intention of making a profit by offering tourist services.
So there is another aspect of it. In this military base there were prisons, so pretty big prisons, and I think they were not occupied. So they were then taken over by some entrepreneurs who created the hostel there. So this is the hostel Celica now, and it's one of the best hostels in Europe because you're actually sleeping in the prison cells. So they created the business inside Metelkova.
The term gentrification is often used negatively, suggesting the displacement of poor communities by rich outsiders. However, the effects of gentrification are complex and contradictory, and as a consequence, the real impacts varies. Revamped parks, improved house stocks, and new bike lanes are some of the promised benefits of gentrification.
Restoration of the Ljubljanica river banks is a really nice example that made the area along the river much nicer, much greener, much more pleasant to just sit down and have a beer.
At the moment, the locals are more than satisfied with the living conditions in Slovenia, and tourists enjoy their stay and often desire to return.
I can say that in the last 10 years, from my view, Ljubljana became really, really beautiful, or let's say, well done, organized.
When I come back in France, I will tell something positive.
Unfortunately, the benefits of these changes are often enjoyed disproportionately by the new arrivals, while the locals find themselves economically and socially marginalized. The extensive investment in the promotion of tourism in Slovenia can eventually lead to the creation of considerable housing demand, encouraging gentrification and inflation.
What's happening that basically people are moving from the city centers because city centers are become quite occupied with tourists and they are expensive.
It is the problem I noticed on my own skin, because actually 4 years ago I wanted to buy the apartment in Ljubljana, but actually I recognized that it's crazy expensive. It became crazy expensive last 10 years.
Rents for living are getting too high.
Tourism is our bread, and it's normal. It must be a little bit higher prices.
Metelkova is in its first phase of gentrification, which means that the people are not yet noticing any challenges and only see a bright and peaceful future. They are content with their living conditions and are not ready to leave.
But the clubs we already have, I think they are doing a great job, so I don't think we're missing any other businesses here.
I'm very happy that the tourists come here and look here around and ask people and ask punks and stuff.
Looking at the world through pink glasses and ignoring the upcoming issue is the main problem. Even though there's peace and understanding right now, there is a threat that those young enthusiasts will soon be displaced by upper-class enterprises trying to create new tourist attractions.
And many times there were plans to demolish it. There were already bulldozers coming to Metelkova, starting the destruction. And then there were big protests, many people gathered, they were protecting Metelkova.
The entrepreneurial side of things, you always have to make a plus at the end of the day.
For example, I will tell them you can pay me the rent or you must go out, you know. That's just the way, you know.
We will stand here and we won't move so they can fuck off. But I don't know, here Metelkova is like 25 years we've been here and I think we won't move from here if businessmen come, so...
Slovenes have to be critical towards the future and admit that changes are slowly approaching. By implementing place marketing techniques and city branding strategies, Slovenia can continue its path of being the best place to live and a desired place to visit. As an illustration, this could be done through urban branding with the aim of changing the current image people have of the city into a more positive and desirable one. Stakeholders should concentrate on working together to create one brand image for Slovenia or discouraging the development by implementing off-putting policies. Slovenia is a country known for its beautiful nature and variety in different attractions, which is able to fulfill everybody's desires. However, as shown, the country struggles with several problems, which need to be carefully monitored and managed to ensure a sustainable future. We believe that Slovenia will tackle all the issues and maintain its title as the most sustainable destination.